Hello all, whoever is watching this video, thank you so much for watching. I like to do these videos to process what I am processing. And I am processing right now the power of words. I didn't realize that there were certain moments in my life that people spoke words to me, over me, that were so detrimental that I've been embodying those words for years without even realizing the extent to which their words affected me. And it wasn't until I took the time to voice out those words to someone else that I could see like a mirror. And it was as if if the man in the mirror could come to life and I was talking to myself, seeing the effect of those words from someone hearing it for the first time. And after that moment, in that moment, I realized, oh my gosh, this is worse than I realized it was. I knew that these words bothered me. I know that it's been coming up again, almost like triggers, I guess, that have been happening that have reminded me that those words bothered me. It's now that I'm realizing that didn't just hurt you, that affected the way that you've operated, has affected the way that you've operated in a lot of ways. Specifically with using your voice and speaking up and being apprehensive to speak up and feeling like your story isn't as worthy of being shared, or that your voice isn't as relevant. And it came up, and I was more emotional in processing what I was feeling, not realizing that those situations got roots. And there's a verse in the Bible that says that we will be held accountable for every careless word that we speak. We have to take ownership for our actions. And I am realizing now, at a different degree, that it's wow, no wonder God hates, bless me. No wonder, God hates a lying tongue. No wonder we're going to be held accountable, because sometimes we say things and we think that we're doing it with good intentions. But I'll say for myself, I pray if I have ever said any careless word, for all the careless words that I have spoken, Lord, forgive me. And I don't wish this on anyone. Let me be slow to speak, because I may not realize in the moment the power of my words. I know what I'm saying, but do I understand the consequences of what I'm about to say to this person, to this person's life, to this person's mental health, to my own mental health and well-being, to the atmosphere, physically, spiritually. What we do and don't do affects the spiritual realm. And I think we can lose sight of that so easily, because we see physical things around us all the time, and sometimes it's just spiritual can be pushed to the back burner of our minds. But that's where the battles are won first. And the person who I was speaking with about these situations, these words, they said the word that was resounding in the moment was silencing, like silence, like is like these people are the enemy trying to silence me. And I thought about like my brain, like fireworks went off in my brain, because there have been multiple things that I've connected with or that have happened that go back to that thing of feeling silenced. And just like very specific moments. And the Lord is so intentional, even in the midst of our pain. And so this is something that I'm still processing through, but I feel like it doesn't hurt to get on and just start the conversation. I pray that we understand the ownership that we have for our actions. I pray that we are slow to speak and that we are careful before saying something that can literally alter the trajectory of someone's life. Maybe it sounds like it's too intense or like it's not that important, but words have the power of life and death. The powers of life and death are on our tongues. Man, these verses are coming to life to me as I'm just saying them right now. And I keep saying but I'm just processing as I'm speaking. And I love doing that in these videos because I'm learning all the time. And I just pray that even if it's one thing from this video, that it will be an encouragement to you, whoever's watching. Or even if it's just for my audience of one with the Lord, that I'm still just processing with him. So there's healing that's going to happen. And it's funny because, well, that's not funny, but what's interesting is that there's been like this, I don't have it, but like this plastic film, this is a little piece of it, that has been on my Bible. And if you look close on the edges, you can see like the peeling. And I just started pulling it off. And when I was doing it, I actually started recording because I feel like it was a prophetic moment of the Lord showing me that he's peeling back layers, that this is another layer he's peeling back. And literally like, well, it's not coming off very pretty, but it's like film that's coming off of here. I think it's pieces from before. Not really enough that I can like pick up, but it's like pieces of the film. And it goes back to layers of healing. It goes back to scales being removed from our eyes. I think he's pulling back some scales. And seeing a reaction from outside of my own head with those words, not even being spoken to those people, just about the words that were spoken, and seeing that response, I mean, it leads, like, I wonder how much, it gives me a new understanding of how much God cares for us, because if another human being is this affected by these words that weren't even spoken over them, but were spoken to someone they know, how much more does God's heart break to see the effects of sin, to see the effects of words spoken that were negative over our lives and how it's affecting our lives? How much more does his heart break if I'm seeing this response? Oh my gosh, how much more does God care for me? And so I'm really excited to keep going on this journey with him. I'm as close to God as I want to be. We're as close to God as we want to be. So if I want more of God, if I want to see more healing happen in my life, then it's time to go deeper. And the Lord has been showing me that, like, I need to be in position for him to receive from him, to receive, like, experience his presence. And it goes back to that. I think it's Matthew 7:7, seek and you will find. If you want more of God, go after him. If you want healing, if you want forgiveness and restoration, if you want peace of mind, seek the peacemaker and the peace giver, and seek his face. And you're going to see the blessings that are going to come from that. But seek his face more than seeking his hand, more than what he can give you. Just seek him, and everything you need is found in his presence. Jesus. So I really pray that this is an encouragement for someone, and I believe that it will be. All the glory goes to him. And I have, like, my tea bag. I'm going to show my little tea. And my little tea bag, it says, I don't know if you can read it. No. It says, what can you appreciate in this moment? What I appreciate is that God cares enough about me to show me these things that he needs to deal with in my heart. I'm thankful for the care of God. That God doesn't just see me and doesn't just know me, but he does life with me. And I'm learning that in this book called Embodied Hope by Kelly Kapic. And he, in the book, the subject is just focusing on God, like Jesus has a physical body, and he experienced the physicality of human life. And we can always sometimes push that to the side, like, yeah, but he was also God, but he was also human. And I believe still bears the marks of the crucifixion on his body and in his hands or wrists, wherever they put the nails. Because I've heard both, and I don't know which part, but one of those. But to think about how Jesus identifies with us. He is the great high priest who understands our weakness, understands our suffering, and doesn't just know it from, like, yes, he is at the right hand of the Father, yet he also was willing to do life with us and is still willing to do life with us and be with us. He is God with us. Like, he shows us that God is closer than we know every second of our lives. And I'm just thankful for the nearness of Jesus. I'm thankful for the nearness of God. I'm thankful because his presence keeps me going. The fact that he doesn't give up on me, and that he loves me enough to say, I need to point this out in you because I want you to deal with this with me, because I have healing for you and I have a better life for you. And the abundant life, it's joyful, and there's flowers, there's sunshine, but there's also refinement. There's refining fire. There's glory to glory. There's pain, beautiful molding, beautiful refinement, beautiful suffering that comes as we go from that, like, we experience going from glory to glory. And I'm still trying to understand that, and I will forever be trying to understand that. But especially in this season, I'm going to lean in to learn more about what that all means. And so, wherever you are tonight, stay encouraged, because God is for you. He is for you, and he is your right-hand warrior. He is right by your side, and he fights for you. You know, if you've made that decision to live in the light and to follow Jesus, you can rest assured that Jesus, God, is on your side. And if you have yet to make that decision, I pray that you do, because it's so much better on this side. It's not easy, but it's the best decision you could ever make, because you have a forever life partner to do life with, and not just in this life, but for eternity. So God bless you. Thank you for listening to this, and stay encouraged, fam.